were a superhero, what would your superpower be, and how would you use it to improve your community?
Maybe it would be something like stepping inside somebody else's mind, stepping into somebody else's shoes, understanding what they're thinking, and trying to understand what life was like for them. So maybe stepping inside, not necessarily mind reading, but maybe stepping inside somebody else's mind.
Like a sort of like a super empathy kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I would be empathy woman. Or maybe it would be. This is a big challenge for me. Having the ability to be in 5 places at once. Because as my team often tell me, that is actually impossible for any one human being, and I keep trying to do that in my diary. So yeah, having the ability to be in 3 different meetings at once, dealing with 3 separate issues, multitasking woman. I mean, I'm a pretty good multitasker, but that is taking it to the slight limit, isn't it?
Yes.
Apart from adding my podcast, what might one find in your Spotify library?
Oh my gosh, so music-wise, I've got a very eclectic taste in music. I used to teach aerobics classes and exercise classes like boxercise and circuit training and things like that. And we always used to have lots of nice, cheesy 80s pop music in those classes. So things like Wham and Bananarama and Duran Duran and Bonnie Tyler, proper cheesy 80s tunes. That is kind of my era of music. The more serious music of that era, which I also love, people like U2, people like Depeche Mode, Deacon Blue. I was a massive Pet Shop Boys and Erasure fan.
Oh, actually, a few of my friends listen to...
anything cheesy 80s pop is good for me. Also, I really like sort of 90s more dance music. I wasn't a massive clubber, but I did used to go out quite a bit, and I love dancing. I'm dreadful at singing, but I love a few moves on the dance floor. And I think music is really powerful, actually. It's really emotive
100%.
as well. So yeah, and then podcast-wise, I am a big fan of The Rest is Politics.
Yes, I love them. Sorry, I love them.
Love Alistair Campbell. I've met him on numerous occasions. Rory Stewart, I'm a big fan. I think the way that they talk about politics is really good in that because they're not directly involved anymore, they can speak more freely. It is hard when you're a sitting MP to sometimes say the things that you really want to say. So I love them. And there's loads more podcasts now. Sadly, I don't have as much time as I would like. But I did an event with Rory and Alistair at Cambridge University. It was the memorial lecture for Joe, and they very kindly came and did a little Rest is Politics session as part of that lecture, and that was a really, really good, enjoyable experience.
Oh, that was nice.
So what has inspired you, Eleni, to get interested and involved in politics? Because one thing I feel really strongly about is getting young people engaged, and it's not always easy because they do look at a lot of MPs and politics more generally and think, what's the point? And it, there is that narrative about us all being the same and all the rest of it. And I really struggle with that because A, it's not true, and B, we need good, young, enthusiastic people to get involved in politics. So what was your sort of story?
Well, for me, it was just something that kind of happened. I've always had an interest in change making because I've always believed that society should be constantly progressing and getting better. But I suppose my interest in this field came from seeing that so many issues had just been unaddressed by the government. So I thought I'd do a bit of research, and I realised just how important political education is. People in government have the power to shape almost every aspect of our lives. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't realise that. So I'm trying to get people interested in politics because it's important.
That is brilliant. I have got so much respect for that, Eleni, and you're absolutely right. I spend a lot of time going into schools. I do assemblies to primary school kids and secondary school kids, and I say exactly that. I said, look, people are making decisions that are going to affect your life forever. And you need to understand how that system works. And more than that, you need to try and be part of that system. And I think we should have proper political education in schools.
Yes, I started a petition on change.org about that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. I'll email it to you.
Yeah, I do. I feel so strongly about this because you can't blame people for not feeling engaged in a system that no one's ever explained to them. And they don't understand. So until we start properly getting people to understand like what an MP does, what a councillor does, what local government is, what national government is, where the remit of a member of parliament is, and and again how government works, how government departments work, and who makes the decisions that impact all our lives. Until we get to that point, why would people want to get involved? It's really hard. So I think political education is a really important piece of work. If we do end up with a Labour government, that's something certainly I'll be pushing for because we need young people involved. We need women involved. And politics can be a horrible place. I know that more than most. But we need good, strong young women to get involved to make sure their voices are heard. And we need people from all different backgrounds as well. But we've got to try and educate people about politics as much as we can. And also, those of us that are in politics have got to make sure it is a more of an appealing world than it sadly currently is.
Of course. I think there's a lot of people, particularly people my age, that see politics as a separate world that they don't have any control over and it doesn't really affect them, because we can't vote, we don't pay taxes, and, we're not taught about politics in school unless we choose to in post-16 education. So I think that adds to the sense of disinterest. And I think that the young people that are interested in political careers are put off by the negative portrayal of MPs and the threats that you can experience as a public figure. And I completely understand that. But I think we need the next generation of political activists to change the culture so that the generation after that doesn't have to deal with these threats.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it will only change if people get involved. Jo used to say to me, politics needs good people. Because we used to say to her, why are you doing this crazy job? It's just a thankless task. And she said, yeah, but Kim, it'll only change if good people get involved. And, those words have stayed with me very much, certainly over the last few years. I thought of the title of my book.
Oh, what is it?
Never give up. That is one of my mantras, never give up, because there are days when we could all give up and everything feels too hard.
You just sort of keep persevering,
sure
yeah.
You've got to persevere, you've got to keep going. Make sure you look after yourself. Make sure you surround yourself with people who are positive and make you feel good. And then, when you feel able, you get going again and you never give up.
Well, that sounds like a brilliant book with such an important message as well. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, Kim. It's been great to have you on. And hopefully we can talk again in the future.
You are very, very welcome, Eleni. Good luck with everything. And whoever's listening to this, keep going, stay strong. And I hope to see you again soon.
Listeners, join me next week on Women in Westminster when I'll be speaking to Munira Wilson. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Women in Westminster and that you were able to see the human side of our first guest, Kim Leadbeater. If you join me in this series of interviews, you will no doubt continue to see the everyday humanity of our politicians, as well as gaining an insight into the political sphere and evidence of their dedication to their chosen careers. And there will no doubt be improvements in the podcast quality as well. Whatever your age, gender or political persuasion, join me on this journey to explore the human stories behind the headlines with the Women in Westminster.